Alright, so this is everything you are going to need for this particular cake. First, you are going to need some chocolate instant pudding. I got the bigger box this time. This is the 5.9 ounce instead of the 2 ounce box that I've used in the previous cakes. So because of that, it's going to use a little bit more milk. It uses 3 cups of milk instead of 2. So of course you're going to need your milk for that. It needs to be cold. It can be whole milk or skim milk, whichever kind you prefer. So we're going to put that on top of the cake. We're going to do the whipped topping also. And this time, instead of the vanilla wafers as the cookie that's going to garnish, I'm going to use Oreos this time because I thought that would be delicious. My boyfriend and my brother-in-law love Oreos, so I think that this will be good. We're definitely not going to use the whole pack, but they'll eat whatever's left. Then just any chocolate cake mix. I happen to have this Devil's Food one on hand, and then whatever you need to make that cake. So that's going to be different for everybody depending on the cake mix you got. This is just a Betty Crocker one, and it takes 3 eggs, half a cup of vegetable oil, and 1 1/4 cups of water. So that's what I have. I have my 3 eggs, I have my half cup of vegetable oil, and I've got my 1 1/4 cup of water that I almost knocked off the counter there. So again, this is going to be different based on your cake mix, and you can really use any cake mix you want as long as it's chocolate. You could do dark chocolate, milk chocolate, whatever. This is just the one I had, so it doesn't really matter. And I'm just going to do another sheet cake, so you just need that pan and something to spray that with. And my particular cake mix says to preheat the oven to 350, so I've already got that preheating, and let's get ready to go. Alright, so here we go. My particular cake mix calls for 3 eggs. Of course, we need the cake mix itself, so we got to put that in there. Alright, so my particular cake mix calls for 3 eggs. The cake mix calls for half a cup of vegetable oil and 1 1/4 cup of water. There's 1. There's 1/4. Alright, and then of course we are just going to mix that up and put it in the oven and get that baking. Alright, so there is our cake mix. Again, this is going to be different depending on the cake mix that you use. You could really use any chocolate cake. You really could use a vanilla cake or like a white cake as well. It's kind of up to you, but like I said, it's just an idea, just kind of a thought if you're looking for something quick and easy and you want a nice, really cheap dessert. Alright, so I'm going to pop that in the oven and let that bake, and then we will put all the garnishments on top. Alright, so the cake is almost finished. I'm going to go ahead and mix up the pudding. This is just the packet of pudding mix and 3 cups of cold milk, so I'm going to whisk that up and put that in the fridge and let it start setting while we're waiting on the cake to cool. Alright, so after your cake has cooled to the touch, I'm going to take my chocolate pudding that has started to set up, and I'm just going to spread a layer of that over the top of the cake. Alright, so there is the cake with the chocolate pudding on top. That was probably way too much pudding. I guess I would recommend like a smaller box. You can see I got it on the sides here. I'll clean that up in a second. So now we're going to do a layer of whipped topping. So just take that and layer it over the chocolate pudding. Alright, so now I've got 9 Oreos in a Ziploc bag so they won't make a mess. And I'm just going to pound on those and crush those. And I'm going to use those to garnish the top of the cake on top of the Cool Whip. Here is the finished cake. I actually decided to swirl together the Cool Whip and the chocolate pudding at the top just to give it kind of like a tie-dye effect. But this is what it looks like. It's got a ton of chocolate, a ton of Cool Whip, a ton of cake, so I think it will be really delicious. So there you go. Again, you can do this kind of however you want, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.